Hey guys, how's it going? Now today we're talking a bit about game development, which if you've been following my channel for a while, you should know that I am a game developer. I've been developing projects for 5 years now, roughly. Yeah, 5 years. I've been working on games. My priority project used to be a game called Rise and Phoenix. I'm now developing a game called Last Utopia, which is getting a full reveal on this channel soon. When I say soon, it could be a couple of weeks, could be a week, could be a month. It is coming though, it is coming slowly. But I just wanted to I've learned a lot about game development in the last 5 years. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have more cancelled projects than projects that have actually been successful. And in fact, I don't have any projects that have been successful yet. But I feel like I made these critical mistakes in the beginning, which have led to this point now. So I just want to get this out to you young amateur developers, and basically I don't want to see people make the same mistakes I made, essentially. So number one, don't be too ambitious. For the love of God, this is the most crucial thing about your first ever game, right? Don't go out to make the next Final Fantasy, please. Or next Sonic the Hedgehog or the next Crash Bandicoot for your first game. Don't do that. Especially if you're literally just jumping into it. Make sure you start your game out really simple. Like, make a simple game like Pong, or a really simple 2D platformer. You don't have to release it. Just make a game that is so dead simple. Basically, keep doing that over and over again until you're ready to really make your first big project. So what I mean is, you start out with Pong. Then once you know what you're doing, when you made Pong, you then make Pong 2, and then you make an even bigger game. With each game, you just keep getting better and better, improving your skills, building on what you've been building. Don't jump into game development thinking you're going to be the next Jesus Christ of game development. I made that mistake. I tried doing that with the original Rise of Phoenix trilogy. I tried to make the next the next Final Fantasy. It didn't work at all, and I do regret it. But Last Utopia is going to fix all that. Number two, do your research. Please, for the love of God, do your research. If you've never done game development before, read up before you start it. Read about game design, read about 3D modelling, read up about 2D sprite making, coding. I mean, I'm not the greatest programmer. I can't program for anything. I'm a game designer at heart, so I sit there and draw out on paper and design it in the game engine. That's my role. Obviously, I did a lot of reading up about it over the years. Back when I started Rise of Phoenix, I kind of just jumped into it and started drawing out levels, and the levels didn't end up too bad, but they're not great. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to make a good product. It's simple as that. So do your research. There's plenty of places you can look online. There's this website called Udemy that do really good courses. I'd recommend going and look on there, especially when they've got their deals going on, because they go from like 200 quid to 10 quid, or $10, wherever you're at. Number three, don't be Square Enix and reveal your game too early. I've made this mistake many times, where you just reveal your game at a really early stage in development. An infamous thing that I did this with was Rise of Phoenix 4, where I revealed the game when it was rough. It was so rough. That was a really bad move on me to do that. With Last Utopia, what I've learned is to build it up before you reveal it. Now, my game is still in early development, that's why it's not a full reveal just yet. But when we get to that point, I'm going to be releasing little slivers of information as we go. But if you're started to work on a game on day one, like you come up with the idea and you start working on the game, don't reveal that game on the day you get the idea, because you either may get bored of that idea and choose not to develop for it, then you have an announced game to follow through. You know, just don't do that. Just don't do that. Wait until the game is really on its way to being made properly, like into full production, and you know you're going to make this before revealing it, because it just causes more headache down the line, I promise you. Number four, make sure you're passionate about your project. This is so important. Passion is what drives me. Passion drives me through Rise of Phoenix, and it drives me through Last Utopia. Passion can be a bad thing as well sometimes, because my passion was what was driving me to finish Rise of Phoenix, and I kept making Rise of Phoenix games over and over again, and it was not good because people were getting sick of it. You got to learn as well. It's obviously it's about what you want to make. That's what drives you. But you've also got to think about what people want in this day and age. It's okay. I tend to have a passion project, and then a game that I'm also working on, which is more of a commercial game. Now, honestly, Last Utopia is my passion project right now. I do have something else in the works, which is more commercial and what people want to see. But that may not be for everybody, but just keep that in mind. I spent the last 5 years making games that I wanted, and I'm wondering why they're not successful, and it's because people don't want them. People didn't want 2D platformers, really, in the manner that I was making and creating them. It wasn't going to work. It was just a recipe for disaster. So always make sure you've got that passion. If you haven't got the passion to do it, then don't bother. Don't do it just for the money either. You should do it because you have an idea and you want to make art. That is the reason why you should do game development, in my opinion. Number 5, going off what we had, if you want your game to be successful, make sure you have a good audience in mind. So, what type of game are you making? Are you making a first-person shooter? You may be, if you're doing that, then you may be aiming for younger audiences. But then, if everybody enjoys a FPS, a platformer, you may be appealing to the retro gamer here, the older gamer who used to play Super Mario Bros. 3 on his NES back in the day. Because believe it or not, a lot of young people don't really like platformers. They're not that not that platformy. They're not that popular anymore, which shouldn't surprise anyone really. But you should have a good audience in mind for this. Otherwise, if you don't have an audience in your mind for who you want your game to resonate with at the beginning of your project, you're going to fail. Sorry to put it bluntly. And number 6, this is kind of going off the first point I made. Keep the game in scope. Never, if you've made your small projects, now you're making your big project. Keep your game in a bubble which you can actually complete it at. So you may still be making a simple game, but don't give the game 100 levels if you can't make 100 levels in a reasonable amount of time. Or if you're thinking, oh, I'll get voice actors, but you can't actually get voice actors because you can't afford it. It's all about budgeting as well. Make sure you just keep your game in a scope that is good for you, but will still end up being a great game. I know this is the problem for me. In your head, you've got to think a game has got to be as long as possible. No, a game could only be an hour long, and if it's a good game, people will still appreciate you for it and will ask for more. So don't worry about the length of your game, especially if it's your first game. Just don't charge 30 quid for a game that's an hour. Well guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I'll be talking about game development more in the future. Let me know in the comment section below if you're a game developer yourself, or if you're interested in getting into game development, because I'd really like to know, because I want to meet fellow game developers like myself. It'd be really interesting to talk with you guys. Last Utopia is getting revealed soon, so here's a logo for it. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. This logo is beautiful. Yeah, that's it guys. I will chat to you guys later on.